Notice of Funding Opportunity, Victims of Crime Act, Human Sex Trafficking, July 2025. Victims of Crime Act. The Federal Victims of Crime Act was passed in 1984 for the purpose of compensating and assisting victims of crime and providing funds for training and technical assistance. ICEJA is the state agency charged with the administration of the Illinois Victims of Crime Act Victim Assistance Formula Grant Program. This program is supported by fines and penalties levied against criminals convicted of federal crimes and allocated to states by formula by the Office of Victims of Crime of the United States Department of Justice. FOCA grants must support the provision of direct services to victims of crime. Program requirements. Funded programs must offer direct services in response to sex and/or labor trafficking victimization, or that assist direct intervention in response to trafficking victimization. Services must include the following: information and referrals. Information includes educating victims on how the criminal justice system works, their rights as victims, and how to apply for crime victim compensation. Advocacy. Advocacy refers to assistance provided to help address victims' physical, legal, and financial needs. Emotional support and safety. This service should provide emotional support and safety to victims and include crisis intervention, counseling, support groups, and emergency financial and relocation assistance. Optional services. Comprehensive mental health and support services. These services may include therapy, medication management, and outpatient substance use disorder counseling. Survivor-led mentoring and support groups operated by staff. Public awareness and outreach to increase awareness of human trafficking services and the identification of human trafficking victims. Program requirements, direct services. Information and referrals. Providing information includes educating victims on how the criminal justice system works, their rights as victims, and how to apply for crime victim compensation. Advocacy. Advocacy refers to assistance provided to help address victims' physical, legal, and financial needs. Emotional safety. Services that provide emotional support and safety to victims include crisis intervention, counseling, support groups, and emergency financial and relocation assistance in person or remotely. Program requirements, direct services, optional services. Comprehensive mental health and support services. Comprehensive services may include therapy, medication management, and outpatient substance use disorder counseling. Survivor-led mentoring and support groups, led by staff in person or remotely. Public awareness and outreach, aimed at increasing awareness of human trafficking services and the identification of human trafficking victims. Eligible applicants. Eligible applicants include nonprofit, non-governmental organizations, or tribal programs that provide services and related assistance to human trafficking victims and their families. Eligibility information. All applicants must be registered through the Grant Accountability and Transparency Act grantee portal at www.grants.illinois.gov/portal and meet all pre-qualification requirements. Performance metrics. Funded programs will be required to submit quarterly progress and financial reports based on the objectives that applicant agencies propose in their response to this solicitation. Funding information. Grant awards resulting from this opportunity will have a targeted period of performance of 12 months, January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2026. Additional funding of up to 12 months may be awarded after this initial funding period, contingent on satisfactory performance and availability of funds. Total funding for this grant program will not exceed 24 months. Cost sharing or matching. Matching funds are required and must be included in the program budget. Matching funds will equal 20% of the total cost of the project. Match can be made in both cash and/or in-kind contributions and must support program. Cost sharing or matching continued. Amount of match required. Total program cost times 20% equal match. Example, total project cost, matching funds $100,000 times 0.20, $20,000. Grant funding, $100,000 times 0.80, $80,000. Application and submission information. Applications must be submitted and amply funded by 5 p.m. Central Standard Time on July 24, 2025. Review and selection. Proposals will be reviewed by a panel of ICEJA staff and key stakeholders with expertise in victim services. If possible, ICEJA will fund the highest scoring applicant in each geographic region before funding successive applicants. Reviewers will score applications based on completeness, clear and detailed responses to program narrative questions, and inclusive of all mandatory program elements as well as past performance history and/or financial standing with ICEJA. The applicant must demonstrate that costs are reasonable, necessary, and allowable. Questions and answers. Questions may be submitted via email to cja.humantrafficking.nofo@illinois.gov. All substantive questions and responses will be posted and amply funded on the ICEJA website. The FAQ will be updated every Friday. Deadline to submit questions is 5 p.m. Central Time, July 31st, 2025.